Hi guys, and welcome to episode 9 of the Gungeon in the Gungeon. Today we have a special guest sitting next to me, my son. And he's brought along a special, not many people have this kind of firearm, but he's brought along a Tommy gun. So we're going to sit here and talk about this Tommy gun, and I'm going to ask him a few questions on, why he bought it and different things. And I'm going to give you a little information about the gun and the history of it and how far it goes back. And he's going to tell you a lot about it. And we're just going to sit here and rant and rave and carry on about it. So,
I'm going to be honest, I don't know much.
You don't know much?
We're going to talk a little bit about it. I personally like the name the Chicago Typewriter a little bit better.
Do you like that better?
Well, just because, that's the name that was given back in the day with Al Capone and those type of guys.
Well,
the Mafia.
Well, hold on a minute. There's a couple of more names that it was actually given. One was the Grinder. Another one, a popular name, was given the Chopper, the Annihilator especially. And they considered it the Sweeper especially.
All those names are trash.
No, not trash.
Do you know what that gun was originally, like the whole story about that gun?
I don't go ahead, elaborate. Tell me.
I don't know too much, but I know that it was sent to farmers to use as farm guns to kill like crows and other animals that were messing with their crops. Military didn't want them. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what caused it, but the military ended up wanting the guns now, and then they paid all this kind of money for the guns. The guns back then weren't as heavy as this one. This one's actually 13 pounds, no clip.
No clip.
Drum out, that's a 100-round drum. That drum out, that's a 13-pound gun, full of 100 rounds of 45 ACP. That's like a 25-pound gun. So shooting that gun's the most uncomfortable thing on the planet. But, you know me, I like the Mafia. Had to buy something like that.
So is that what made you choose this gun?
Absolutely.
Because of you like the Mafia and you like the Godfather and you're into the Al Capone days. And back in the 1900s and the Prohibition days and all that, you really like this gun. That's why you bought it.
I'm big on Mafia, but I'm also... it's not that I'm just big on Mafia. I also like going into a range and having stuff people don't have. So, like, I don't want to go into a range and I bring a Glock 19 or a 43 or a SIG. I want to bring guns in that are going to people look around and be like, damn, holy shit, what's that guy got? So that's why I get the bigger guns.
So you like the wow
I'm not
factor.
Making up for anything, you know what I mean?
Are you sure about that?
I'm not getting the big guns
Are
to
you
make
sure
up.
you're not making up for something? Really? Are you
I know
positive?
people would probably think that, but no, I like going into ranges and people just being wowed. The wow factor is big for me. Remember when we brought this in the first time and the guy at the end had his Glock, and he's like, oh my God, I want to shoot it. Can I use my rounds and I'll shoot your gun? And I was like, yeah, whatever, that's fine. People see that and they're like, wow, I don't see that every day. I want to shoot it or I want to hold it, take a picture, vice versa. I can't tell you how many people have seen the gun and have wanted to just take a picture with it.
Now, when you're shooting the gun, because I saw you before, and I shot it, of course you let me shoot it, and I don't think I got through 30 or 40 rounds before I wanted to put the gun down because it was so damn heavy.
You're tired. So I don't even ever use the drum. The drum is literally just an investment. I mean, that's a $700 drum. I just use the 20-round stick. Really? It's easier to load. The drums on these are, you saw, it's complicated to put it in, take it out. You spend $100 on ammo because 45 ACP at that time was like $1 a bullet. So I was spending $100 just to shoot the thing once. It's not the most ethical gun to have, but I'm just that kind of guy who likes the random stuff. Plus, guns are investments, so I like keeping stuff like that. I want my Desert Eagle and stuff like that. So I've only shot it one time, and a lot of people want me to take them shooting and let them shoot it, and it's expensive right now. Ammo's just expensive, but it's a nice gun, 16.5-inch barrel. The stock is walnut. A lot of them are lighter. You can see this one's kind of darker. I personally like the darker. I don't know why. I think it just gives it more of an angry look to it. Like I said, it's a 100-round drum. Shoots the 45 ACP. It's semi-auto. It's not the full auto. Full autos are like $35,000. I ain't that rich.
I beg to differ sometimes about that situation because it seems like with me, that you are my son, it seems like every gun that you have bought has to be something big. You, for some reason, do not like any of the smaller stuff. Unless it's big, you don't really want to deal with it.
I have them. I have my 9s. I have my 40s. I've got 380s. Then I wanted to get 44s, and I wanted to get the Judge, and I wanted to get the AKs. I wanted to get the Tommy and shotguns and different, stuff like that. I don't even like the I don't like the long stock shotguns. I don't like having a stock. I like no stock shotguns.
So you like the Shockwave?
They look more assault. The Shockwave is a little bit smaller than I'd prefer.
Mm-hmm.
But just having a no stock shotgun, it looks more tactical. It's more of an assault shotgun. I'm not big into the going skeet shooting type of shotguns. That's how I am.
So this gun, I've done a little research on it. Like I said, I'm not familiar with it either. You're more familiar than I am because it's yours. But we for sure know that you can't shoulder this gun because it's just, there's no way. There's no way. The recoil action on this would probably knock your shoulder completely off.
There's zero recoil on that.
Really?
There's zero recoil on
Now,
that.
when I shot it with those 30 rounds, I had it hipped, of course, but it still felt a little, felt a little shaky. It was shaking too much.
Because you're nervous, you're holding a gun like that. I was the same way. The gun honestly has hardly any recoil. It's like shooting a .22. It's so heavy. The heaviness of that gun just sucks up the recoil, and it's honestly not that bad, I promise you. Plus the barrel's almost 17 inches long. So it definitely helps it, but you do feel a little thump. But I mean, you're shooting a 45 ACP. That's why. Depends on the type of grain of the bullet you use. But no, I mean, that gun is smooth. Doesn't even feel like you're shooting a Tommy gun. Now, back then, the lighter ones, I mean, those things got away from you, so you couldn't shoulder a gun like that back in the day. Back in the day, you were just hipping it and spraying it. This, you can actually be a little bit more accurate, aim it out. It is semi-automatic, so it's not going to get away from you. You can just tap the trigger each time. I personally like the hip just because of the nostalgia of it. I mean, it looks like you're Mafia.
So, yeah, there's a couple of people that, a couple of famous people that have actually used this gun and
It was in one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah, it was, and also it was in a couple duo used this gun. Actually, I think his name was Clyde Burrow.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah, but he used it a lot. That was one of his favorite firearms.
I mean, like I said, they were anyone can get their hands on these back in the day because nobody wanted them.
You know how much that cost back in the day?
Probably like $150.
$225. In today's money.
I wish.
In today's money, guys, you know what this gun actually costs now? I was actually researching it last night.
Well, that's the full auto.
The full auto. $3,248.56. But that was in 2018 that price was, that I had saw. I haven't seen it recently. And then it was also used in a famous, actually in a movie, a couple of movies actually, but it was also used in a famous... a little bit of a shooting that they had go on called the what? The Saint what?
Oh, the Saint something massacre.
The Saint Valentine's Day Massacre.
Yeah.
It was actually used in that, and there was a movie about it too.
I didn't see the movie.
And do you remember that it was also, and if I'm not mistaken, with Macaulay Culkin in one of the movies when he was showing it on the thing, the guy was saying on the TV something about and. I'll give it to you, or this is it, and it started shooting the... Wasn't a Tommy gun? Home Alone. Wasn't a Tommy gun used in that TV
I think so.
show?
It might have been. It might have been.
You Dirty Ratty called the guy or something like that?
The best movie that gun was in was...
Go ahead, say it. It's your favorite movie, one of them.
Top 3. Godfather.
Okay.
It doesn't get any better than that when Sonny... was it Sonny? Yeah, Sonny died. Got sprayed up by like 4 or 5 guys.
That's why I call it the sprayer.
Yeah,
because to me, it's a sprayer.
To think though, I don't think they had 100-round drums back then, and if they did, I think they only had 50s. But if they did have 100, how quick would that just shoot?
Seconds.
And to reload a drum, I mean, it's just unethical. It's not an ethical gun to use in anything like that unless you're just gonna light up somebody's car, which is what it was usually always used for. That's why everybody else just pretty much used small revolvers, little snub-nose revolvers, which I got that too.
Mm-hmm. Well, the gun was actually produced, it was actually thought of by Mr. Thompson in 1919, and I think the first one actually hit the assembly line and was actually made. He had drew up the plans for it then, but John T. Thompson, the first one was actually for sale in 1921. That's when the first one was actually for sale.
They have a couple different models.
Yes, of course. Yeah, they do.
They got like the TM1. That's the 1927 A1 Deluxe. So it doesn't have the violin case. Clearly, it's got this hard case. They have the violin case. I can get it for like $300, but
Really, why? What would be the purpose?
whoa,
I mean, it would be.
I want it. I definitely want it. It's
Why?
just
But why?
other things in life I gotta pay for.
Yeah, but you know,
You gotta
this
have
case, this case is. I like the Chicago typewriter part because if you sit and think about it, typewriter, what does that do?
No doubt. But when you look at that case, you know there's a gun in there. You look at a violin case, you ain't expecting it.
No.
But the violin case back in the day, so like these guns used to break down. Like you could take the stock off these guns back in the day, like without having a screw. I could do it, but I have to unbolt it and stuff like that. You could literally just take the stock right off that gun, and then not use the stock, and it would just be a halfway gun. Barrel wouldn't be as long. The barrels were never as long back in the day. They were only like 12 to 14 inch barrels. This is obviously, like I said, 16 and a half. So it was a lot smaller, more practical gun back in the day. You know, you didn't have this big stock, so having to do too much, you could literally just hold it out here, and it's like you're holding a machine pistol.
But the recoil would have been a lot worse though because of that
worse.
barrel. So you figure
that barrel, the weight of the gun,
weight of the barrel, the weight of the gun, and there was no stock on it. So of course it must have been a lot.
No stock. It was definitely. That's why people literally just sprayed it. That's it. They didn't hold it at the shoulder. There's no use to it. This, like I said, you can. It's just the worst thing about holding this up to your shoulder is you're holding it. You're holding 13 pounds plus whatever you have in the gun. If you're having the stick, it's not as bad. But if you're holding a 100-round drum, that's another 8 to 10 pounds. You're holding 20 pounds up here plus recoil. I mean, it's a lot. You're tired. I'm done with the range after I shoot 100 rounds through that. Done.
Hell, I was done at the range when we were done shooting your AK-47. I was done with it the first time.
The AK's easy. Oh, I love that gun.
Yeah, but I was done with it.
That's probably other than this, the AK is probably my second favorite gun, just because everything behind it, everywhere it's used, it's the easiest gun to clean, and we can show that in another video in the future.
Yeah, we will.
But it's the easiest gun to clean. You can throw it in dirt, leave it in dirt, sand, whatever it's used to being in the deserts and stuff like that, and you know, on war fields and such. But you could just leave it there for 2 years, come back, put a bullet into it, it'll shoot. It doesn't. Guns like this, you gotta clean stuff like this, and I've never even cleaned this gun yet. I've only shot it the one time, and I definitely should have cleaned it, but I don't even begin to know where I would start to clean it. I mean, I've cleaned like where the slide is and stuff like that, the bolt, but that's pretty much it.
I'm wondering how hard it would actually be to clean this gun and to actually take this apart.
Well, I can see there's screws here on the stock. I think that's the only place that you're going to be able to take that apart. I'm curious what the gun would look like. I just don't know. Oh, that's not even.
I'd be curious to see actually what it would look like. I mean, I've got a picture of it. I wish I can post it up to show everyone what it looks like. What it is of one taken completely apart. You know, a diagram of actually when the gun was actually made, when he made the gun and it was taken all apart. There is a picture of here that does actually show that. Mm-hmm. I just don't have that up to be able to show you exactly what it, what it was, how it looked. But you know, I did hear, and I was reading that the United States paratroopers used it at one point in time. Yeah. Not for very long, because they found out that the weight of the gun and the actual accuracy of the gun was not what they were looking for. But yeah, the actual paratroopers used it at one time for a very short period. Like I said, it wasn't long whatsoever. You know, mostly from what I've read was like, and it was kind of funny because I was reading about Al Capone, of course, using it, and we all know Al Capone.
Oh yeah.
But there was a couple other people that made it.
You know, he's the richest mobster in the world, or he was the most. He had the most money of any mobster.
Yeah, I would probably venture to say so. He probably did.
Imagine all his money, what it would be worth today, because he was, 20s and 30s. So imagine what his money would be worth today.
Think about it, what the gun, if you had that same gun from back in the day, what it would be worth today.
Well, they sell them.
They
like
do,
35,
but
40 grand.
Yeah, they're up there. And I've seen them probably higher than that.
I've never seen one in real life. I want to.
And I'll tell you another person, she was a bootlegger. And her name was Dorothy James. She actually used that at one point in time back in the day. During the Prohibition days, she had used that.
I don't doubt it. It was not heavy. It was a lot more practical, like I said, back in the day.
Yeah.
Now it's
Well, when we went and bought it, don't you remember when I was with you? I think that day that you went and bought it. I think I was, or it might have been one of your. No,
That was my buddy Dakota.
Well, I remember that you telling me that the guy was asking you, why would you even want something like that? Because of how heavy it is, and that it didn't make sense, especially
Someone my age.
Yes.
People my age, they're going in there, they're getting a Glock, they're getting SIGs, they're getting something to carry and protect, and ARs and stuff like that. I'm not into ARs at all. I've got one AR. That's probably going to be the only AR I ever own. I don't like AR. I know people that have 10, 12 ARs, and they all do the exact same damn thing. They all look the exact same damn way. They all shoot the exact same damn way. The only thing different is the brands. I'm not into that. I want shit that's cool. You bring out an AR at a range. Oh, okay, this guy's got an AR. Dope. Typical gun owner. You pull this out, holy shit, that's a guy who likes some cool shit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I brought out my 44, and it's just a 44, but it's a big 44. And people see that, and they're like, holy shit, that's a cannon. Bring out the Judge. People see, it's a shotgun pistol. I'm not into the typical. I own one 9mm. I own two 380s, and I own a 40.
Well, actually, you own basically everything that's in this room.
No doubt.
And then some.
But
really.
I'm saying.
But as far as your own personal collection.
My own personal collection. I own one of each caliber.
You don't go for the. You go for the really weird stuff. I remember that when we were in a store one day, and you literally didn't go for something that most people would go for. You went right for that Judge. Why? Gun. That was the first gun you ever purchased, and why you ever purchased that gun was beyond me. But
because it looked bad. It's a pistol that shoots. Mind you, it's 410, but it's a pistol that shoots shotgun shells. That just sounds badass. Plus, I use that gun in Call of Duty.
Oh, do you?
It's called the Executioner back in the Black Ops 2 days. So,
I thought you used the Galil in.
Yeah, but that was a
Call
gun
of Duty.
that was used. I personally didn't use it, but it was a gun that was used. But I've tried to buy Desert Eagles in the past. I've tried to buy PS90s, which one of my favorite guns FN's ever made. Another gun that's just expensive and stupid to shoot, but it's a dope gun to have. The Desert Eagle, the stainless steel, I have my heart set on one stainless steel with a muzzle brake. Right now, it's like a $2,400 gun.
How about the MP40?
The MP40 I want as well, just because that's another gun that was just used in like World War I and II, whichever war it was. I don't know which one it was. But it was used in one of the wars, and it was big. It's a Call of Duty gun. And I don't know. I guess it's more of a sentimental thing as well. When it comes to guns like that, the PS90 I used. Desert Eagles I used. MP40s I used. Tommy gun I didn't use, but Mafia. You know what I mean? Anything right. Mafia I'm going to buy. That's why I bought the snub nose. Just because everyone used the 38 snub nose back in the day. Had it in their little bag, pulled it out, boom, quick.
Yeah, that's 38. That 38 snub nose that you bought was a really
everyone loved an
interesting.
Gun too.
Yeah, it was an interesting gun that you had purchased. That I was surprised at too. And we looked. I think we looked all around for that gun. Didn't we look
everywhere?
We must have went to different towns even to look for it.
We bought it in a different town. We bought it in Pinellas County, I think.
And we couldn't find it anywhere.
I think I paid like $575 or $600 for it, and that was the only time I found it. And it was reblued. But it was in immaculate condition. Couldn't go wrong. Still had the original checkered grips from. I think that gun was made in.
I'd have to look it up and
it could have been like 40s or 50s, something like that. It's an old gun, maybe 60s. It's an old gun though, very old gun, and I carry it. I don't carry the typical. People carry SIG P365s. People carry Glock 19s or
people carry the Can TP9 Elite SC like me.
Did you know Florida Firearms Academy is having a massive $99 gun sale?
Did you see that?
And your gun is on there.
Yes, it is. But then did I tell you what else possibly might be on there? That
Diamondback AR is on there.
No, wait a minute. You're going to really hear this one, and this is pretty weird. And I kind of heard this from someone else told me, but there's a possibility. Now, I could be wrong, and don't quote me on this, and the information I'm getting might not be true. But I heard there might be a Chris Vector.
Not for $100.
That's what I'm thinking. How can you do a Chris Vector for $100?
$2,000 gun.
Easily, yeah. Even a Tavor, you can't.
That's another gun that I used in Call of Duty. The Scar. Scars
or
are just 30,
FNs are just ridiculous.
They're $3,500 right now.
Right now. I mean, you can buy some FNs that I noticed the other day. The FN 509s, I think you can buy for. I think they're running right around $539, maybe $639.
Not the
something
tactical
like that.
version.
No, not the tactical version. No, not
I
at
was
all.
say that's like a
$1,200 gun. But I'll tell you something. There's a firearm. I went the other day. I didn't tell you about it, but down the street there's a live auction that I went to that I heard about. I bought that GSG. Remember the GSG I bought? I heard about it then that there was a live auction down the street. They do it every Wednesday. They'll do one Wednesday black powder. The following Wednesday they'll do regular
it's a gun auction.
Yeah, it's a gun auction.
Okay.
But they don't just auction guns. They have everything, but they have a gun auction at a certain period. So I went the other day, and you know me, I have a lot, and I like the older stuff myself too, and I like, what am I big into? Revolvers. Love revolvers.
Favorite type of pistol?
Favorite type of pistol, am I correct? Because it's never going to jam.
Yep.
In my
Not
opinion.
even that, they're just... all semi-auto pistols, they all, once again, look the same. Yeah, there's different serrations on the gun and different grips, and the slide might look a little different, but the shape of the gun, it's all just the same. Revolvers, your shotgun pistols, you got the longer barrels, so it's a bulky looking pistol. 44 Magnums with the longer barrels, a Smith & Wesson 500, 460s, 357s, 38s.
Like I have inside of there.
Heritage Rough Rider, they all have a different look to them. But semi-autos, it's just the same square framed. That's why I hate Glocks.
But you see, now you're saying that, and I was with you a long time ago. Remember, I always said I hated Glocks, but up there I got a Glock 17 Gen 1, and I'll take the Glock 17 and Glock 19 Gen 1. Those two to me were, they're phenomenal guns. They never have any issues or anything. The newer ones, I think, I don't care for them as much. I don't know.
I don't know. I'll never own a Glock.
You said that.
Never.
And I said that too.
I will say the only Glock that I will own would be a 43.
You like the Glock 43? I don't care for it.
I like it. Even the X, I like it just because they're smaller. So if that's a gun I'm going to carry, I'd carry a gun like that. I wouldn't carry a gun like you carry.
You don't like the Canik TP9 in the
I
SC?
love the gun. I just think that's not a good carry gun. I think it's too big.
Really?
I think it's too big.
So, I was carrying my 38 plus P, my Smith & Wesson hammerless, but, it's the way society is today, Yeah, one shot should take the
That's the thing, and I've had that same thought.
5 shots and compared to what I have inside of that, it's...
I've had the same thought where I want to get a different gun to carry that holds more, just in case. You might run into a crowd that's trying to, or not a crowd, but like a group of people that are maybe trying to jump you or rob you or do whatever, and you got 5 shots and there's 5 people, you better hope you hit all 5 shots.
Correct.
Now, if you take down one of them, the chances are they're probably all going to run. Who knows? But I think having more in your clip is definitely smarter. I don't know. I guess it's just personal preference. My 38's heavy. It's a heavy gun.
It is.
For a snub-nosed revolver, it's a heavy gun.
But that was also the police who used that gun. That was back the police were using that gun for a while, if I'm not mistaken.
Not the snub-nosed version, no. They always used like the 4 and 6 inch barrels. So like my Highway Patrolman, my Smith & Wesson 357, that was a gun that was used by Highway Patrolmen. Says it right on the barrel. State troopers and all that. 6 inch barrel. I just couldn't imagine having to pull out something that big out of my waist. I need a quick draw in case somebody else is carrying that I'm potentially going to shoot. But in the Western days and stuff, they use them big old revolvers and.
Well, I got a couple down there. The old Ruger Vaquero, the Super Black Hawk. I got,
Do you have the Vaquero down there?
Yes, I do. I got the Vaquero down there. Do you not see that?
Is that the brown grip?
Yes, sir, it is. And right behind that's the Black Hawk.
You have it in what? I know you wanted it in 44. I don't think you have it in 44.
No.
I think you have it in 45.
I have 45, yes. Because remember that I wanted to buy one in 40. Well, you had said, Dad, why don't you just get the 45? So I actually did.
I didn't say that. I said you wanted the 44, said don't settle, get the one you want. But you are just...
I'm one that just buys because I like to buy. Look at my old Colt 32 that's down there, too. You see that? Remember that the one I got for $89 over a long time ago?
$89.
$89 for that revolver. You can't go wrong, and it's in beautiful... It's in there.
I see it.
You see it in there?
Mm.
So, getting back to this Tommy gun, well, getting back to a little bit of talk about guns, you have a friend of yours that's got a 500.
I do. Josh.
And you shot that gun.
He may not have it anymore. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a while.
But you shot that gun. And I was there, and I think the recoil was on...
Oh, yeah, you didn't want to shoot it.
No, I was afraid to shoot it.
Yeah, that gun was scary.
Scary?
He's probably twice my size.
It's a big boy.
And him holding it with both hands, still you saw that gun fly up and almost come out of his hand.
Right. And did you see the flame that came out of the end of that gun after he shot it?
Yeah, I shot it, and that shit was scary. I'm holding on to it, and I'm also pushing my body forward so I can push the recoil forward so it's not as bad. I also wanted to look like I can handle it a lot better than everybody else, because that's how I am. But I hold it, and I shot it, and even still, like, it gave me a kick, and I felt it all the way through. I mean, that's got some power. I have a picture of the bullet size compared to, like, my 44. Wow. It's crazy.
Completely different.
And he got that gun for $800 cash, brand new, never shot.
He actually did get a. Didn't he get a? What was it, an FN?
He got the 509.
He got the 509 tactical FN for a good
with 3
price.
clips. Too? He had the was it the Trijicon sight on it maybe, or no, it might have been a Vortex. I don't know. Got that for, I think it was $1,200 out the door, at our pawn shop, our local pawn shop that we used to go. Actually, where I got my AK.
Well,
people are so pissed I got that for that price.
Yeah, for that price, because you cannot even find a repop right now. I'm going to tell you something funny about that. Speaking that you're saying that, when I went to that auction the other night, they had a Palmetto State Armory repop. Not even the real like you have. Do you know what that gun actually went for at auction?
Probably $1,000.
Over $1,200. And then, what is one of the favorite guns that you like that I have that you've wanted for a long time? It's a Ruger. Come on. You've been wanting this gun for a long time. The GP100.
I never wanted that gun.
I thought you always wanted my GP100.
No. I like the gun. It's very nice. I like how Ruger was when releasing your cylinder, you press a button instead of, pushing something to the side.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it, and it's smooth. You have what, the GP100, and then you have the...
I have the Ruger SP101.
SP101.
SP101. Yeah. Now the other night, I'll give you another thing that was funny. That GP100 was at auction. And I was there. I'm at these auctions. Just,
Mm-hmm.
Guess how much?
Probably $800-900.
Go up higher.
That's crazy.
$1,395. He starts at low, and then he kept going up, and people just kept putting cards up. Boom, boom, boom. Got up to $1,375, I think it was, for it. And your mom's gun that I'm gonna show that, her firearm, her carry here in the next, probably in episode 10, maybe 11. Her gun, her little Taurus, 380.
I just realized this is kind of hiding you, buddy.
Oh, it is? Oh, let me stand up a little bit so everybody can see me. Well, they all know what I look like. They don't want to see my ugly mug. They'd rather see a good-looking kid like you.
I am pretty good looking. Continue. Mom's gun went for what?
Mom's gun. Now, you got to remember a 10% buyer's premium plus tax.
You don't count any of that, though. That's not the price of the gun.
Not the price of the gun, but total, this guy must have paid $800. He hit the thing, sold at
You don't find that gun, though. Like I was looking for it for a while.
But $600? Really? You hit the gavel at $600 for that gun? You know what I paid for Mom's gun?
Probably $350. But
little over.
You don't find that gun. You'll never find that gun in a gun store. It's got to be like ordered through Taurus's website or something, because you just don't find the damn gun.
Well, it's ridiculous what I noticed the other day at these auctions. I figured I'd go because I want to see, because they had an M1 Garand without the bayonet, though. But an M1 Garand. That's the one I was looking at. And then I was looking at a firearm, guys, that maybe not a lot of people know. My son might not even know about this gun. It's a 9mm Kunan. It was used back, I want to say, in the early 50s, I think I was told. It was used by the Navy then. It was one of their go-to guns. It's a Kunan. I'm sure a lot of you people know about it, but a lot of people don't. It was a military-style gun. It's a military gun. But that gun, there was a gentleman next to me. He was in a wheelchair. Has a pretty good, huge gun collection. He bought that gun. And I asked him why he bought it. And he said, because you can't get them. And when you do find them, They're not cheap. And the gavel hit at $1,200 for that gun. And it's only chambered in 9mm. That was it. And I was pretty amazed at, even a Mosin Nagant without the bayonet was up there. I can't believe how. I don't know if it's because
I'm
of
not
what's
big into those guns at all.
I don't know if it's because of what's happening now in the Middle East that everybody is getting crazy with just buying guns now just because they're afraid. Because here I was.
Who buys a Mosin Nagant to protect yourself?
You got me. But I was in.
I'm not even buying this to protect myself.
I think I told you a couple of weeks ago I was in Rural King and I purchased that Ruger American.
Mm-hmm.
And there was people who live in my community who wanted to purchase a protecting. Now these people in this community are 68, 69, 70 and above. Husband and wife purchase, and you know what their main reason was? They're scared. I mean, are we that bad that?
I hope you didn't tell them to buy that Ruger.
I told them to pick what they thought would be the right thing to do. That's what I told. I said, what's going to feel good on you? I said, your wife, he was going to pick it for his wife, and I said, you can't do that. You got to let her touch and feel the gun. So, I don't know exactly what he picked. He hasn't told me yet. I haven't seen him yet. But, I'm noticing more senior citizens are buying firearms.
Well, because it's a lot harder for them to protect themselves.
And the worst part? The guys that are showing them, the sales associates, they're showing them semi-automatics, which I get a semi-automatic, but a lot of them can't handle a slide. Especially a lot of the, unfortunately, the women's fingers, and they just can't handle the back on the slides. Even the Smith & Wesson EZ, they couldn't even really handle that.
That's a trash gun. I think all those EZs are
Well,
trash.
you know what? I beg
I know you have one.
I have one, and I beg to differ on it. The gun, to me, the slide operates good.
You ain't even
the
shot
grips
it.
are good. No, I haven't even shot it yet. Like I haven't shot most of the stuff that's in there.
So you don't know. That gun is trash. Trust me. The bodyguards are all dog shit.
But
just saying.
What does M&P stand for? Think about it. Military police. That's what it actually was.
I thought it was like.
No. Don't even say it.
Don't
say it. You're gonna be mean. Don't say it. Don't be mean.
Trash.
Don't
That's
hate
all I'm gonna
Smith
say.
and Wesson.
No, I love Smith. A lot of my guns are Smith, but
no, the M&P it's military and police.
And I
is what
have
that
an
stands
M&P.
for.
I've got the 40, but the bodyguards are trash. They're known. They're known to just be trash, especially the revolver version. Oh my god.
Yeah, but now I got a question. Would you take a High Point or Jimenez instead of one of those?
I wouldn't buy a gun. If I'm left on the world with a Jimenez, a High Point, or a Smith & Wesson M&P bodyguard.
Let's throw the Kel-Tec in there too.
Kel-Tec what?
What is it? PS90, I think it is, something like that.
Not a PS90. I don't know. Whatever. All four of those guns, I'm gonna. Do you have knives?
Really?
Do you have any knives?
Really?
I have a better shot of throwing a knife at somebody's throat than using those trash guns. Just saying. And it's funny because you own 3 types of those guns.
I do.
Well, you got rid of one of them, the Jimenez. But
well, look what I got up here. What is that? That's a High Point 9mm carbine.
You have the bodyguard, and you had a Jimenez.
I had a Jimenez, but I got rid of that.
Yeah. So, I didn't know.
The Jimenez I would have just thrown at you because it was so heavy.
I'm not a big fan of any of that. Trash. Why buy a bodyguard, which is like a 5-yard gun? It's a 380 usually. Mm-hmm. Why buy a bodyguard when you could buy an LCP?
Now, do you think the LCP or the LCP2 is better?
I think they shoot relatively the same. I think the LCP2 just has better grips. It's a better looking gun. So I'm going personally with the LCP2. That's the one I own. I owned a 1 as well, but no longer own that. The LCP2 is definitely the better.
The ones
gun.
that we have.
It's the better gun.
Mm-hmm.
It's.
So this is pretty interesting that me and my son would get together and we talk about.
This was good.
Fire.
This was a good video.
This is a good video. And now, real quick on that Thompson there, how's that trigger pull on that? If you don't mind me asking, is it easy? Is it something simple? What do you think, or is it just you just grab that trigger and you just shoot the shit out of that?
I don't think it's bad, honestly. I mean, it's for what it is. I don't think it's bad. I think it's smooth. I think it's a couple pounds, nothing crazy. once it's cocked and ready to go, I don't think there's any problem with it. But I mean, I don't want to give an exact, accurate description on it because like I said, I've shot the gun once.
You've shot the gun once, so you really don't know. I mean, we're gonna have to measure that with my trigger pull device to see exactly what the trigger pull would be on.
Yeah, I mean, it's just too expensive to shoot too. Ammo is just so expensive right now.
Well, by the time you get through that
to
clip,
buy
it's
100 rounds of 45,
it's expensive.
it's like $80 right now.
Oh, there was more than that at auction the other day.
That's ridiculous.
They were selling it. It was more than that.
You know what I found out, and you know this, but Thomas at work, he told me that Machine Gun America in Orlando that you went to.
Yeah, that I went to.
When you were waiting before you met Hannah and them.
Yeah.
They sell ammo there.
Yes.
By bulk.
By bulk.
And there's some crazy deals right now.
But hold on, there's a place in there called Tactical Shit. That's who's selling the ammo. Tactical Shit. So when you go in the building, guys, if you ever go into Orlando, Florida, you ever go into this place, it's Machine Gun. What's it called?
Yeah, billboards everywhere. Machine Gun America.
Machine Gun America. You
go
go in there.
Guns. Wow, their price on shooting guns.
Oh yeah, are high.
$175 to shoot 3 automatic guns. Hold on. 125 round, 125 round, 110 round. How quick do you think you're going to get through a 25 round fully auto gun?
What, second?
3 seconds. Maybe.
Maybe 3 seconds.
You're telling me I'm paying $175 for 10 minutes?
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Yeah,
it
can't happen.
Ain't no way.
But I tell you what, they have one of those in there.
Oh, I bet.
Yes. But, you know, I tell you what, the place that actually sells the ammo in there is called Tactical Shit. I actually belong to I subscribe to their website, and they're always sending me stuff. And they have great deals on bulk ammo. You can buy a lot of bulk ammo from them. The only problem I don't like when it comes to buying bulk ammo, you know, from these places that I get, you know, Tactical Shit, I'll get from different ones, you know, send me stuff, Tactical Ammo and True Ammo is another one, is the freaking shipping fees are outrageous.
That's why I just like buying my bulk from Rule King.
And that's where I've been buying. Rule King is the best. Now, Bass Pro Shops, and you got to remember what just opened up this weekend. Matter of fact, yesterday was the grand opening of that new Academy Sports in Wesley Chapel.
Did it really open?
It opened yesterday. Was the grand opening. So I want to go in there because I want to see if they have any deals, because I think they will.
Where's that Sportsman Outdoors store at? I keep getting flyers in the mail from it. It's like a Bass Pro, but
I think this is it. It's called Academy Sports. Sports.
I don't know. I'm gonna, because I keep getting flyers for it and guns on the flyers, and the prices of the guns look pretty
Rule
decent.
King. The price of the Rule King lately on guns has been coming down. I mean, it's looking pretty.
Once we get a different president.
No, once our current idiot administration leaves, and we get, you know, different ones in there who
gas is coming down finally.
Yeah,
election's coming.
That's helping us out a lot too. But you
know,
I
paid $2.98 for a gallon the other day, and I about shit a brick.
Yeah, because I haven't paid that. I'm not even up here where I'm at. I
really
paid that less now.
Oh yeah,
I paid a little more than
filled up $2.98 the Wawa on Waters.
Wawa on Waters.
Yep.
Nice.
West Waters.
That's good.
I really appreciate you having me out here. The room really looks good, bud. I think you've been doing a good job.
I'm trying, but you know what? I think I got to turn it. I've got to do some. I might do some changes in it because I think, you know, people get to see this background a lot, and I might change some of the firearms to put what's over there, over here, and do a little bit of different things.
That's the beauty of those type of racks. You can just take the guns.
Yeah, I can take the guns off and really put what I want to put. And you know, the more I buy, you know, like I said, I got these 2 that I just bought here in cases, and you know, I don't have any place for them yet. You know, my glass cabinets are getting full there. I really don't have room for that.
You don't have room for any more of them either.
No, but you know, Dad, he's going to keep.
No, I'm saying room for more glass cases.
No, and this is what I'm saying. I might have to get rid of my firefighting stuff. And
I think you should do that.
You don't think I should do it?
Good setup.
Oh, I thought I can't get rid of the pirate, son, because you want to know why? You bought me that pirate there, and that's kind of.
No, you don't get rid of it. I think that.
You don't like my cabinet there?
You can't see anything in it.
I know. I'd have to open it up for you.
You can't see anything in it.
Your favorite gun's in there, though.
Which one is
Your
that?
Desert Eagle 1911.
Oh, nice.
It's inside of there.
You just can't see anything through it. You know, it's kind of pointless.
Yeah. And I got to do, you know what I got to bring out too, and I haven't brought it out yet? That Beretta Explode, that your grandfather gave us.
Yeah.
I haven't
That
shot
gun.
that.
That's a fun gun to shoot.
You shot that gun. I never got to shoot it, but you did.
I went skeet shoot with that thing, son. That was fun.
And I heard you shot a lot, but you also had to learn how to gut a pig or something like that, didn't you?
I did. I learned how to gut me pig.
And you didn't like that very much in the beginning, but
wasn't a fan. I liked eating the food though after.
But they liked you sticking your ass up inside of that pig's ass. Didn't you have to do some pulling out of some stuff?
You had to cut around the asshole.
You didn't like that though very much.
And you had to tie a string around it so it didn't fall through and taint the meat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was weird. But I mean, hey, it's an experience. I did it.
Hey, you did it with John, and he was a very different kind of character. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that was a good guy.
He was a great guy, great guy. Rip to him, may he rest in peace. He was a great guy, May my dad and of course his grandfather rest in peace too. They were great gentlemen. But anyway, hey, I'd like to thank you for being here today and showing this wonderful piece here that not a lot of people get to own a piece like this because number one, they're so damn expensive, and number two, they're just not a practical firearm that everybody really wants to use.
People who buy them, they usually just they get rid of them immediately.
Yeah.
Second they own them, they get rid of them. They'll shoot it once and then they'll bring it back to the gun store they bought it at, and they're done with it just because it's just so heavy. It's so annoying. But it's my gun.
It's cool.
I love it.
And for a while there, I thought you were going to think about selling it. You had said something about that, and then
I go through phases.
But your dad ain't going to let you do that because he would take it before you got rid of it.
I go through phases. It's just what I do. I go through phases thinking I'm broke.
But you're not. You work hard. You got yourself a good job. Can't mention where we work because we just can't. But our father and son work at the same place, and we see each other a lot, and we have the same interest as far as firearms. He is more knowledgeable though than me.
I would say
in
certain guns.
In certain guns, he's a lot more knowledgeable, and in sports, he's got me beat now. Of course, our favorite team is the Pittsburgh Steelers, but he's got me beat. I'm more into the historical guys that played football. He's into the newer guys and knows them really well, and. He doesn't like for me to say this, but he's got his own channel, him and a really good friend of his, and God, they're fun, they cut up, they know a lot about sports, and they're very good about what they talk about, and they're pretty knowledgeable. I don't know how good they're doing this year as far as their picks are concerned, but it seems like they've been 50-50 with that, sometimes in the shithole.
I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, it's not a good thing, but...
That's going to do it for us, guys.
Yeah, it's going to do it, guys.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
And please like and subscribe, and if you got a question you want to ask me or comment you want to make or something you want to see or a firearm, we do have plenty of them if I'm correct, and we have friends that have plenty of them, so if there's something you really want to see, let me know.
Let's get this video to 10 likes. I think 10 likes is a good... Let's get to 10 likes.
If we can get to 10 likes, that would be great.
That'd be great. I'd be happy. Everyone who watches this video, if you're not liking this video, I'm coming after you with this thing right
Yeah, and you don't want him to come after you with that because he does have plenty of ammo still to go in there.
I'm not coming after you with this thing, guys. I'm just kidding.
But you know what I will come after you with? My little Nerf Uzi that I bought the other day when I bought that GSG that I showed you last time.
Nerf Uzi.
Yeah, Nerf Uzi. I bought one. It's pretty funny. I showed it in the last video, and it was pretty neat. I shot the screen with it. It was pretty cool. Mess with the cats with it, but, that's me. All right, guys.
That'll
do it. Nice for me. Thank you. Peace out.